just because I had so many problems, you know. I can't have it till Tuesday because the check might be bad, when I could have cashed for cash on Friday if the check had been bad. You know, shit like that. Well, I get a bounce check fee. You know, I'm opening up the bank statement, and there's a bounce check fee. So I get to looking at it. I haven't written this amount. So I go down to the bank and ask about it. Well, after a whole bunch of rigmarole, they pull out this little postcard that's typed up. It doesn't have my signature anywhere. It has my name typed, but it doesn't have my signature. And it says that I've authorized them to be my personal finance managers. And they tried to take out like $1,200. So I asked the cashier to look up my account. Tell me what the average has been in my account for the last 6 months. She goes, well, it goes up and down. I said, yeah, what's the average amount? She goes, well, about $5-6 bucks. So, okay, why the fuck would I need a personal finance manager? Not like I got millions, you know? So they put a stop payment on it. We move on. Well, they didn't tell me a stop check or stop payment check or whatever it's called is only good for 6 months. 6 months and 2 days later, they hit me again. This time, I had just paid all my bills. I just paid all the bills for the shop, all the bills for the house, car payments, all this. So there was a bunch of money in the account. They wiped me clean, and then I start getting all these bounce checks from all these companies. So I go in and throw a fit. You know, well, stop payment's only good for 6 months. Nobody ever told me this shit. You know, I told you before, I don't have enough money to have a personal finance manager. What the hell? So after weeks of arguing with them and fighting with them, they send letters to all of the people that I'd written checks to and explain that it was a bank error, it wasn't my fault. Any fees that they're incurring on me that they will take care of, you know, it shouldn't be held against me because it was the bank's error. There was a mistake at the bank. It wasn't my fault. Well, I'm pretty much at this point done. So we go around looking for other banks that have free checking. At this time, nobody did. They were the only ones that had free checking. So I go back in to open a different account, so the numbers are completely different. Now, this is the only time I've ever gotten over on a bank. They had given me the cash money when I left to go look for another bank, because I pretty much closed out the account, give me all my fucking money. You know, once I seen that everything was good, they had written letters and all the companies were happy, I go in, take out all my money, go to another bank. Well, nobody else has free checking. So I go back, say, hey, can we get a different bank account with different numbers? That way they don't have my account numbers and shit like that. So yeah. So the money that they had given me, they also deposited it in my account. So I got paid twice. I tried to explain it to them. They didn't want to listen. So I put the money away, kept it for 6 months or something. Eventually they catch the error. You know, then they want to do something. I'm like, look, I told you this date that you've done this. You know, I've got the money at the house. I haven't spent it because I knew eventually you would catch up. Well, why didn't you say something? I did. I tried telling you, but you guys didn't want to listen. I mean, these are the kinds of things that go on with banks and me. Hold on a minute, guys. Okay. Well, I went without a bank account for a while over this. Just decided I was tired of messing with them. You know, people able to write these things and saying that they're my finance manager and able to take my money and all this. I'm done. Well, it's starting to become a problem with the business. Not having a bank account was making things hard. So I do a bunch of research and I find this new bank in town. They were a bunch of lawyers, I think, It was either lawyers or doctors from West Virginia that all got together and decided that they were going to take all their money and make more money by being a bank. I think it was called Wheeling National. So I go in, they got free checking, even for a commercial account, which is like unheard of. When you do anything commercial business, there's more money. To get cable in the shop was going to be an extra $100. Because it was a business, and I could have people in here watching cable, and it's not like your house where your friends and shit can come over. These are customers, so that makes it different. So it's an extra $100 a month. I mean, this is the kind of things that they tack on. I was trying to get cable so I could get like Roadrunner here at the shop, and since it was a business address, it was going to be like an extra $150 a month. I'm like, why? Well, it's a business. You could do business. I tattoo. I can't tattoo over the internet. Well, you could be sending out advertisements or something, so we got to charge you more. I mean, this is the kind of things that businesses go through. Anyway, I go to this bank, and for a good 6 months, it's easy sailing. Never had a problem with them. I'm thinking, finally, I found a bank. Well, I get a bounce check fee. I haven't written any checks in 4 or 5 weeks. So I go in. It takes a couple hours for them to find out what happened. They made a mistake. They admitted to the mistake, but their computers wouldn't let them take the mistake off, the fee for the mistake. They couldn't take it off. I had to pay the fee. I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me you made a mistake. You can correct the mistake, but you can't take the fee for the mistake off. Well, no, sir, we can't. You're going to have to pay this. And it was like a $20 fee. $20, $30. It wasn't a lot. But it was just the principle of the matter. You made the mistake. You're admitting to the mistake. You're telling me that you made the mistake and admitting to the mistake. But I still have to pay for your mistake? Kiss my ass. I'm not doing it. Well, sir, you have to pay for this. I'm not going to. Give me all my fucking money. I'm done with you. I mean, heaven forbid I make a mistake. What's it going to cost me? I mean, it's costing me money when you make a mistake. What happens if I make a mistake? I'll be in fucking federal court. So they give me my money. Well, in the next week, this guy gets fired, the guy that I dealt with. They don't take into consideration anything that he's put in, because he put notes on my account explaining that, the mistake was theirs, but he couldn't take the fee off because the computer wouldn't allow him. And that's why I closed my account. Well, they basically erase all that and start coming after me for the money. Well, no. You guys made the mistake. You told me you made the mistake. Well, who did you deal with? And so I tell them who I dealt with, and, well, he's no longer with us. You're going to have to pay.